Hey everybody, it's Lord Jackal. So today, on Monday, July 14th, 2014, at around 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Sakurai just drove everybody insane once again. As I'm sure pretty much anybody who's seen this video already knows, I don't know why you would watch this if you weren't interested, and if you're interested, you've probably already seen it. He revealed 3 more characters, sort of, in a Nintendo, not a Nintendo Direct, but just in a video he uploaded to the Smash site today. And pretty much single-handedly, well, a lot of people are saying that he single-handedly destroyed Gematsu, that big leak that everybody is talking about. We're going to talk about that. So, first off, Chrome is a final Smash. That, to me, is indisputable. I think most people have decided that's indisputable. Not a playable character, but a final Smash. Robin is a playable character, along with a female costume mold. That is also indisputable. Captain Falcon is back. Captain Falcon is back. Captain Falcon is back. That is also indisputable. What is disputable, and what everybody is disputing, is what's going on with Lucina. Because while she got a splash art, she, how do I put it? She wasn't given the full treatment on the site. She's got a small square. Robin's got like a big long banner, because on the Smash Bros. Site, I'm sure most of you have actually gone to it and seen it. Newcomers are getting like really wide banners, and veterans are getting tiny banners that are just like a square. And Lucina got a square. But if you actually go to her page, it still says newcomer up in the corner, and they're not saying she's a veteran or anything. So what does this mean? I honestly think what this means is that she is not exactly an alternate for Marth, but I think that they are essentially the same character. Let me explain this. From everything that we saw in the trailer, which wasn't that much, but we still did see essentially every special move, except for the shield breaker. But in a screenshot, I'm pretty sure that I see what her shield breaker is going to be. The thing that interests me the most is her Dragon Dance. Not Dragon Dance, Dancing Blade, what do they actually call it anymore? I always called it the Dragon Dance or something for some reason. I don't know why. That's what I always called it since Melee. It had the exact same speed, exact same moves that Marth did. And I wouldn't... everything that I saw so far, they didn't show anything that made her any different from Marth in, like, any way. And I'm talking about her speed seemed the same, her physics seemed the same, the way that the moves worked seemed to be the same. It seemed like it was more than just her having similar moves. Because the thing is, even when Roy was there, when it was Marth and Roy had, like, some marked differences. And that's the way that it goes with clones. When you've got a clone, they're not really clones. Like, they have the same kind of moves, but there's always differences, you know? Like, Roy had, like, the fire thing going on. He was slower, he hit differently. Toon Link and Link, who are still in, they have technically the same moves, but they're different. They do different things. Like, they make them a bit different to try and justify having characters with the same moves. Lucina doesn't seem to have that. And on top of that, her costume is also very similar to Marth's. And, it just seems really odd to me, and it seems hard to justify. Like, I don't know how he would justify them being in the same, roster as different characters. Especially since they updated Marth to look more like Awakening Marth, and they gave him, like, the cape that is the same cape as Lucina's. And, yeah. Another big thing is when we added clones in when we got clones in the first place in Melee, it was because the game was rushed. It was because there was a short amount of time to add a lot more characters. And, so they added 4 characters that were basically clones, but there were still differences. Now there's not a need for that. There's no need to expand the roster with clones. You know, like, we've already got a lot of newcomers. Not to mention, we've already got a Fire Emblem newcomer. We've got Robin, who works like nobody else. And so, if he really wanted to make a newcomer, he's already got it. You know, there's no reason to make Lucina to try and pad out the roster. Which makes me just think even more that he's not really trying to pad out the roster. It's just that Lucina's a really popular character, and he wanted to give more of that Awakening representation, but it's really hard to justify having her. I mean, you could give her a unique moveset. You could. But it would still be like, eh? You know? Like, because for most of Awakening, spoilers, I guess, if you haven't played it yet and you're still planning to and don't want the story spoiled, skip ahead like 30 seconds. She spends most of the game impersonating Marth. So, I don't know. Like, I just have a hard time thinking of any reason why she would be her own character slot. And she even has the same, like, idle animation. There are a couple animations that are different. The way she holds her sword is different because her and Marth, even though they both use the Falchion is a different design. And so, like, the way they hold the sword has to be different. And, like, that's fine. But most of the moves, like the differences are so small. She is so clone that I have a hard time believing that she's actually a clone and a separate character. And I think the reason that she still is getting this much attention is because of how popular she is. And because she is more than the average alt. Like, all the alts we've seen so far have been, like, the different gender of the trainer or the different gender of the villager. And it's not a new character. But Lucina is the first time we've had a character, if she is an alt, it's the first time that we would have had an alt that is just as, if not more popular and important than, well, she's not more important than Marth, but she's more relevant right now, I suppose. But yeah, who is actually more popular than the actual person that she's alting. Which makes me think that they might share a square, and if they don't share a square, it'll still be like they kind of are. Like, because if they do treat her as a newcomer, it's going to get a lot of backlash, I feel like, because he was talking about not having those clones anymore, you know? And after Toon Link, a lot of people were like, well, you know, it's okay. But this would have been the biggest clone we've had so far. Because it would be really hard with what we've already seen to actually give her enough differences to say that she's not a clone. So that's my 2 cents on that. I have a really hard time seeing her as an actual standalone separate character. It's not definite. We've seen very little of her, but I think that there's more reason to think that she's a Marth alt than there is to think that she's a standalone at this moment. Is there anything else? Yeah, I just think a combination of the moveset that we've seen so far, what they do in the actual games, her costume, and her animations. I think with all of that combined, I think it's very likely that her and Marth are kind of sharing a spot in some way. It might be that we see a space that we haven't seen before. I know that there were some of you out there, I think, oh god, I don't know if I can remember it. There was a roster I saw who had, like, for characters that swapped. Like, he had, like, the Pokemon Trainer and Zelda and Sheik still in the same roster. And they had, like, different colored borders to show that they were linked. I think it might be something like that, or it might be that they kind of share a space, or it might be you touch a button and they... I don't know. Because, from what we've seen so far, we still have no actual word on how you select... Well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like, we just don't know. Like that's the main thing is, like most things, Sakurai has left it kind of ambiguous. I just think, from where we're standing right now, she looks like she's doing almost exactly everything that Marth does. Much less unique than Roy was. Which makes me think that she's not a separate character completely. That's where I'm standing right now. And this is less than 2 hours after the actual reveal. One thing I want to address. A lot of people are saying because she is getting splash art, that she's guaranteed to be a newcomer. Well, I mean, she's a newcomer. I think she's got splash art because, as I said earlier, she's bigger than any other alt we've seen so far. She's much bigger than a male Wii Fit trainer. She is her own character that's very popular and very relevant. I also want to point out that Captain Falcon didn't get splash art. which I think most veterans have so far. I can't recall. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that the splash art is a big enough thing. Like, I don't think that's a set rule. I think we have to remember that, like most things, the rules aren't really set. Sakurai can do whatever he wants, and I don't think that there's any real proof or very much incredibly strong evidence pointing at Lucina being a completely separate thing, a completely unique character. The splash art is the biggest thing, and I don't really think that's much evidence. Yeah, that is my general 2 cents on it so far. Looking through the screenshots, even, because even the counter looks exactly the same. I don't know. Like, I have a hard time. I have a hard time justifying her as her own character. She seems less unique than Ike or even Roy. But yeah, we're going to be doing a stream tomorrow. We're going to be doing a huge, just SSB4 speculation stream with PC Dude Man Guy and Lotus and Game and Pichu and Stelios and Tale of the Toaster, just like we did for E3. But because of the wedding and everything, Pizza's wedding, it kind of got pushed back and back. And we're going to be doing one tomorrow. That'll be Tuesday, July 15th. I believe the time is, let me look at it real quick. We do have a set time. 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. British Time, noon Pacific Time. We're going to be doing it then. If you have questions, leave them below, and I will get them together for that stream. We will answer questions there. You can also ask questions at the stream, obviously. And any other thoughts you have on Lucina, like I said, we're still discussing it. It's still like a really big point of discussion. Thanks to Emil, or Rider of Lightning, for helping a lot, and also to the rest of the Lagfest group for this discussion so far and everything we've learned so far. I just wanted to make this video before I had to get ready for work. So yeah, if anything that you have to say about it, go ahead and comment down below. Oh, I need to talk about Gematsu. I'm not done yet. Gematsu. Yes, this is not what Gematsu said, because the Gematsu guy last night said that he got an email saying that we would get Shulk today, and we did not. So a lot of people are saying that this busted Gematsu because Shulk wasn't shown and Chrom is not playable. I don't... This actually didn't change any of my opinions of Gematsu so far, because I've never thought that Gematsu was 100% it. And what I mean is, I felt like Gematsu was accurate, but not completely informed. And I mean, like, my opinions did change. Like, before I didn't, like, put any stock in it. But I do think that he's accurate, but not completely informed. I just realized I should have turned my air conditioner off before I started this. Oh well, it's high. For example, he didn't say anything about... He didn't know which Pokemon was going to be the X and Y rep, and we got Greninja. He didn't say anything about Rosalina. And what I think it is I think whoever is leaking... He's saying that it's a Namco Bandai worker. I think it's a Namco Bandai worker who's not actually directly involved in Smash. And I think that they're seeing some things and then saying it, but I don't think they know everything. So, for example, I think they saw Chrom. I think they saw him being worked on, and so they said Chrom. But I don't think they knew what capacity Chrom was in, which is why I don't think the Chorus Men are a playable character. I do think that they are in, largely because of the Rhythm Heaven enemies, but I think that they're either part of a stage or they're an assist trophy. I have a hard time seeing them as playable, even back then, just because I think that there's much better playable reps from Rhythm Heaven, and I think that the way that they work isn't the most conducive to a playable character. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Gematsu. I don't think this has really disproved it for me. I think that Gematsu is slightly credible. I just think that it's not somebody who's completely informed, and they're going to be inaccurate about a couple things. Like this. I think that Shulk being shown today was an assumption based off of Monolith and Adam Howden retweeting Sakurai's announcement. I think he was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to make myself seem more credible by calling Shulk because it seems like a sure thing. But Sakurai blew everybody out of the water again. Other than that, I'm excited for Robin. I was never big on Robin being playable just because I'm much more interested in seeing other Fire Emblem characters that aren't big characters, that aren't like really important, but show more variety. I always thought a playable Pegasus Knight would be cool, for example. A full-out mage or a sage would be cool. Like, I just was more interested in seeing that, but the way that they're having Robin work looks really unique. I'm down for that. Excited Captain Falcon's back, and I love the way they built him up as one of the biggest powers of Smash. That was hilarious. And, yeah, those are my thoughts so far. Also, the jab, Chrome's little jab, as, I guess I'll get my chance some other day. That was good. And I'm loving the way that they're handling all this. And I think that this means that we're going to see more characters than we expected. We are going to see more than the Gematsu leak. And I think we might actually bust 50. Because Sakurai talked about how they put in more characters than he expected. And I think the rest of the reveals that we get are going to be multi-character reveals, just like this. So I'm excited. I think this is all good stuff. So leave your comments below and let's talk about it. Smash is fun. Let's talk about it. Let's enjoy it. Alright, see you guys. Join us at the stream tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. noon Pacific, and 8 British Standard Time. See you guys then.